everybody, welcome to Artsy Endeavors with Cindy Utter. We're working on our I Am journal here. I actually started this out creating from the couch. As you guys know, I've had a really rough about 3 days, and hopefully that part of it's gone. Today's page is going to be about friends, and in some ways it's a great subject, in other ways it's a very difficult subject. What I'm doing here is, first of all, I started off with my Dina Wakley paints. You know, I just love my Dina Wakeleys. So I'm just playing around right now. I'm just laying down color and blending it a little bit. Of course, I'm using a cosmetic sponge. Just playing. That's really what the beginning of my pages start. I just start playing and laying down color. So anyways, today, like I said, we're going to do a page about friends, and sometimes it's kind of difficult because unfortunately there are times in our lives when friends come and go, and it's kind of sad actually. I didn't like how green that turned out, and I really wanted more of the blue. So again, just adding some more paint, getting it a little bit more blue. Still not as blue as I'd like, which you'll see here shortly. I decided to go a different way on that. But just love these Dina Wakley paints. I just love them. So, as I was saying, friends come and friends go. And some stick around, other ones do things that you just can't believe that it's something they would do. And you know, unfortunately, when it goes against your morals and ethics, that's not a good thing. So, again, still laying down color, having fun, playing with it, seeing what I can do, having fun. Being a little quiet today. Again, I'm coming off 3 days of a really rough pain in my back and with this fibromyalgia. See, I told you that blue wouldn't last long. I wanted more of a blue, and I actually bought these. I don't know what they're called, big sticks. I got them on clearance at Hobby Lobby, and I only paid like 69 cents a piece for these. And I love the way they lay down the color, and actually I love the fact that they pop. The colors in them really pop. It's a very juicy paint, and what I mean by that is sometimes it's very thin, but it's fun to play with. I haven't been to Hobby Lobby in quite a while. I need to get back there and see what's going on. Not sure what I'm doing here. Probably checking something out I've got playing in the background, maybe on Netflix, or I don't know. I tend to watch a lot of documentaries when I do creating on the couch. There's my biggie. This one's a white one, and I decided I wanted to... Oh no, it's blue. It is still the blue one. I'm sorry. Thought it was the white one. I decided I wanted to use a little bit of bubble wrap on here, just get some texture going. It was funny, the other day my husband got an order in for his shop, and I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's smaller bubble wrap than what I have. I have to have a piece. So, of course, you know, I take a piece for my paint table and then a piece for my cart. Here's the white. Again, I'm working on these silicone mats. I just love them. And it's funny because I looked on Amazon for different shapes, and you know, they have some on there, but the thing is you have to buy 4 of them for like $10, and I really can't see putting that kind of money in them. This is a little stamp that says best friends always, or friends always and forever, something of that nature. Just a small stamp I have on the cart. Now I decided I wanted to do some mushrooms. I have never painted mushrooms. So this is really new for me. I decided that I was going to play around and see what can I do? What can I do with a mushroom? Not sure where mushrooms come into Friends, but hey, you know, it's art. It's fun. It's fun to play and just to enjoy and have a blast with it. That was a Scarlet Lime pen that I used. And of course I've got my white gesso here. And basically I'm going to go through and I'm going to gesso these mushrooms. Hopefully I won't bore you crazy while I do this. Sometimes I tend to be very anal when it comes to painting within the lines, even though I know I can draw new lines. Still have my squeaky chair. I actually went and purchased another office chair, but unfortunately I'm wondering if that's what really stirred up my back. I don't know if that's what caused it to be in so much pain over the last 3 days. I'm not really sure. So I went back to my old one, and because I'm doing okay right now, and we'll give it a few days and maybe I'll try my new chair again and see if it does the same thing. Let's hope not, right? So again, right now I'm just, gessoing in these mushrooms. I'll try to get this fast forwarded a little bit more so you don't have to see it all. I bought that little butcher tray just recently. I went to AC Moore, and I have played with so many different types of palettes. I used the palette paper for a while. I used some ceramic dishes I had here at the house for a while, and I couldn't find something that would A, clean up very well, and B, be big enough so that if I decided I wanted to use a brayer, that I'd be able to do so. The palette paper, it's nice, but it moves around and it can get annoying at times. So I decided to pick up this tray, and this is actually the first time I'm using it, and I really like it. So far, so good. So do you have a lot of close friends? Do you have a lot of old friends? I can say that during my childhood, I moved around an awful lot, so it was very difficult for me to, keep friends as far as longtime friends. I hear of people that, they were friends in high school, or they were friends, since elementary school, and I just think that's kind of cool. So again, just throwing gesso down on these mushrooms just to make them stand out a little bit and clean up that background so I could do some more with them. I probably could have done this with a different type of a paintbrush, but that's what I was using at the time. So, all right, so I dried these up, and I forgot to turn my camera back on. This is Adirondack, and the color is Clover. I decided I was going to have some pretty mushrooms. Again, I'll try to fast forward this through a little bit so that you're not just hanging out watching me paint. Okay, back again. Sorry about that. You probably heard my phone ring. Doctors and attorneys, they're all kinds of fun. So hopefully we'll finish this uninterrupted. So anyways, like I said, it's different not to have, friends from back in high school and that kind of stuff. So it's definitely different. All right, I have a question. Has anybody ever done inchies? I was invited to do an inchy swap, but boy, these are really tiny, tiny. I'm assuming it's 1 inch by 1 inch, and these are just really, really tiny. I'm not quite sure how, wow. we have to have one word and one picture or item or object on them. So these will be quite interesting to try and do. So while I'm sitting here watching myself paint and doing the narration, I'm actually cutting up some onesies. So I'll have to play with these and see how they go. So like I said, this is my first attempt at mushrooms, and I kind of like how they turned out. I definitely will be doing some again. Just playing around, having a good time with them. And like I said, I will try to speed up a little bit of this painting. You know, unless you want to just hang out and hear me talk, which we can do that too. I have no worries. So I've been trying to get a few more videos out there to you. I do a lot of playing in my room, and to be honest with you, that's what I consider is playing, just because I enjoy doing it. I have so much fun. And I thought, you know, just like I put a video out not too long ago about arting tins. I do that all the time. Anytime I actually did 2 this morning that I didn't video. Anytime I find a tin that I want to use in my studio somehow, and it's funny because my mother-in-law just brought me one home yesterday from a yard sale. But anytime I use a tin, I definitely make it look pretty. You know, I can't have just a funky looking tin in my studio. So same thing with cigar boxes. I actually have a friend who smokes cigars, and every time they have an empty box, it comes my way. So that's a lot of fun. I also have, I think if you saw my video of my studio, I have a toolbox that it was brand new that we found at a yard sale. And I brought it home and I modged it, and it now holds all my paint and paint supplies for my paint desk. So it's a lot of fun. I know there's a lot of men that come in here and look at that and just, they cringe. Oh my God, what did she do to the toolbox? I made it my way. That's a good thing. So, wow, I'm still kind of in shock about these little inchy things. These are small. It's weird. You never realize how small an inch is until you see it in perspective of a piece of art. And having to make an inchy piece of art. So it's going to be different. So here I took some purple. I don't know why, but I decided I wanted to have some purple mixed in with my mushrooms. And so I've got some purple here, and I decided just to do the under part of the mushroom in purple. And I think I also, I like the fact that in the end, the purple looked really well as far as some of the shading. So that was fun. Meanwhile, while I'm doing this on the couch, my husband comes home, and after dinner, we have 2 different bathrooms. In one of our bathrooms, the hot water won't shut off. So in order to get to the hot water, we had to actually put a hole in the sheetrock on the inside wall, which happens to come into my studio. So he had to move some of my stuff around, and it was just kind of crazy. So now we just have to get in touch with the plumber and have him come in and fix what we got going on. Hubs could do it, but he's got too much on his plate right now. I think he has a shop. He has his own business. He's an FFL dealer, which if you don't know, it's a federal firearms license dealer. And so he has his own gun shop. It's called Utter Firearms. And with him at the shop, plus he works a full-time job, he doesn't have time to do that plumbing stuff. So we're just going to get somebody in here and get it taken care of. So again, still painting. I decided I just wanted to play and paint, I guess, on this page. I know some of the previous ones I've really just pretty much done a background and then, you know, added some collage and that kind of stuff. But this one, I just wanted to take my time and play. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Now I've got some, this is, the color is actually denim. And again, it's another one of those, I believe it's the Adirondack. Either that or it's a Distress. I think it's the Adirondack dabbers. But I decided to use this denim to do some shading on these mushrooms. First, I was just going to do the outline, as you see. And then you'll see where I get really brave and decide to do some more shading. Talking about friends, I am just amazed at the amount of people in the arting community that are just in the same boat, per se, when it comes to the chronic pain and, you know, an injury that's completely changed their life from what it used to be to what it is now. I'm really amazed at just how many people have turned to art. And I think that's a good thing. I know myself with the art, it gives me time to try to take my mind completely off the pain. And instead of thinking constantly, oh, I hurt, I hurt, I hurt, I think, ooh, what can I do to this background? Or, you know, what do I want to create today? Or how can I repurpose this tin? And it just really takes my mind away from the fact that that pain is always there. It's not going to go away. It's permanent. I have permanent damage. So to be able to take art and go into a place where I can get away from that is just amazing. I brought you guys in a little bit closer just because I wanted you to see what I was actually doing. And like I said, this is where I decided to get real brave and do some shading and just do some little lines like the little filaments, I guess, or whatever that's under mushrooms. I don't eat mushrooms. I just don't like the taste of them. To me, they taste musty. So I don't eat mushrooms, but I had fun playing with them. So anyways, back to the chronic pain. Like I was saying, it's just I am totally amazed at the amount of people out there that have had to turn to art in one way or another, whether it's doodling or Zentangling, whatever you want to call it, to painting or collaging or, you know, doing these swaps. It's just, what a way to make friends. And I think the greatest thing about it is the friends that I'm making are friends that understand and know exactly where I'm coming from when I say, you know, I'm having a really bad day, or, you know, I'm kind of down today, or today's a really good day, you know, and I was able to do something, or I was able to do this. It's wonderful to have those people in your life, even if they're on just Facebook or, you know, on the internet world, that understand where you're coming from. What an amazing feeling. So again, while I'm doing this, I'm using that denim paint and just trying to put a little bit of shading here under these mushrooms, having fun with them. And if you hear me in the background, again, I'm still cutting up inchies. You know, we have to multitask. We can't just do one thing. At least I can't anyways. I can sit here and talk, but I have to have my hands busy. So inchies it is. These will be very interesting to do. I've never done this before, so I think it's going to be fun. And I think this will be a great, you know, create on the couch thing to do, to play with these inchies. So I'll get a bunch of them ready, so if I have another bad day or bad spell here somewhere, I'll have to go get myself a tin and get it refurbished so that I can put my inchies in it. How fun is that? So I'm still playing around here a little bit with the shading, just trying to add a little bit to it. I'm pretty much using up the paint that's on my brush trying to play. Now these two little girls, as you can see, I switched. I'm back at my desk now. These two little girls I was given in from a friend of mine. They were Happy Mailed to me, and I love them. And I just thought, what cool friends are they? So what I did is I put them through my Xyron machine and stuck them down. And here I'm just going to go ahead and do some stamping. I'm using the Ranger Archival ink. Just adding some flowers, trying to fill in a little bit of that space there on the bottom so it didn't look so bare. Love those little girls. I colored them in. I don't know if I may have used my Spectrum Noir pens to color them in. I had a bunch of them, so I just sat one day and just did a bunch of coloring. Now here I found this fern, and I just thought it was kind of cool that this fern is going to be hanging down and on top of these girls. It's kind of cool. I love using stamps. I think stamps is one of my favorite of all time things to do. You can do a lot with stamps. You can have a lot of fun playing with stamps. There's just so much you can do with them. So I do have quite a collection of stamps, and I'm always looking for more. Here we are with, again, another stamp. This one's Friends. And my N didn't turn out the best, but I took a black Faber-Castell Pitt pen, and I went ahead and fixed my N. I actually went over the entire Friends. So here I am just playing with some different pens. I'm just adding a little bit of color around those black flowers. I'm not really going to do a whole lot to this. I just kind of like it the way it is, and I'm just adding a little bit here and there. Nothing major, nothing crazy. Just having fun. I would like to find some more unique stamps. That's something I am looking for. And I actually went on a place called Rubberneck Stamps a few weeks ago, and I bought a few of those, and I really like them. They're different. So I have, there's some places. If you know of any really cool place to pick up stamps that don't have the normal, A.C. Moore, Michaels type stamps, let me know. I know Unity has stamps, and I've ordered from there. I just really like unique and different stamps. I get tired of the same old stamps. So if you can think of any, please put them in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. Just added a little bit of hearts, a couple of hearts dangling down from my mushrooms, and now I have just a gel glitter pen. It's just straight glitter. And sometimes it gets stuck, so I have to kind of pound it on my desk. But sometimes it'll not give me my glitter. So here we are, we're wrapping it up. I'm going to go ahead and put my Stabilo around both my girls, just to give them a little bit of shadow behind them. And again, I've had a lot of fun playing with this. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this. It's been fun to record and to play with. So I can't wait to see your pictures for today. Again, we're talking about Friends. And I believe this is page number 17. So, like I say, as always, be kind, have fun. That's what life's all about. Have fun when you do your art. And most of all, happy creating. Because, that's what life's all about. Just have fun, enjoy. If you're a chronic pain sufferer, it's the best way to just make your life easier. So I hope you enjoyed this today. Please hit like below and share, comment. I will definitely get, back to your comments. Absolutely. Here it is. Have a great day. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.